What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Good morning. It is early for me in the morning. Today is Thursday. Yeah, it's early. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, which to me is ridiculously early. Look, I'm be honest. I'm not one of those 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning guys that wakes up full of energy, goes and does a workout, comes home, does paperwork, has a cup of coffee, runs off to the office in his office by 6:37 a.m. That is not me. So I should tell you guys up front, like, I am a bad morning person. So this video is going to be a little bit slower than some of my previous ones, but I'm going to give you guys as much as I can. I've already had my Advils to get rid of the headache and kind of wake me up a little bit. I got my coffee, which, by the way, kids gave me that mug. So here's the thing. So I want to make a video on, you guys have emailed and have put some comments and have gotten in touch with me asking what I think about Spotio, Sales Rabbit, and some of their sources that are on the websites and different information in terms of helping you farming your communities. So I wanted to come out with a video and put this forward for you guys, and I've just been putting it off a little bit. So I figured this morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to knock it out real quick before I get a shower and head into the office. So here's my thing. All right, listen, Spotio, Sales Rabbit, whatever they are, all these different services, they're all good for helping you track what's going on in a farming community that you're looking for, a farming area, with information. But some of the downsides. Number one, I've researched a lot on these companies. I can hardly find anybody that's saying anything about them. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't even matter. I have found very, very few independent reviews for either any of these companies. And so that kind of tells me something, because we've got, I know in PA, we've got something like 15,000 or 20,000 active realtors. All right, that's just Pennsylvania. New York has like 100,000. So this is not a small business we're in here. It's not a small community. And I can't find more than a few, maybe a half dozen independent reviews on either of these services. So that kind of tells me that maybe either, number one, they're not being utilized that much, which is telling me something in itself, or people aren't really caring that much to put a review out there. And given that I see reviews on everything in the entire world on YouTube, if people don't care to put a review out there for one of these services, then it tells me something else as well. Sorry, guys, got something in my eye. All right, so here's my opinion. All right, I've looked at all the services. I've checked them out. If you guys are diligent with your note-taking, if you're controlling your processes the way you should be, the way I hope that you are, and if you don't know how, I will make a video on it later if you guys want, because I think I do a pretty good job with maintaining my stuff. If you can't keep good notes on what you do, then it's not such a bad idea for you. But my opinion is anything that's your output expense, right? Anything you spend money on. And if you're a realtor, which is what this video is kind of geared towards, if you're a realtor, you've got a lot of output expenses, right? Business cards, signs, marketing, advertising, promotion. I know a lot of those kind of fall on that same roof, but they're all different. You know, if you have to buy your own signs, that's expensive. If you have to market your own properties on Realtor, on Zillow, on Trulia, on all the different sites, that's expensive. If you have to buy your own business cards, that's expensive. If you have to do your own printing, that's expensive. If you're paying for your licensing fees, the way, we pay several $100s for ours a year, that's expensive. If you're paying your MLS fees every 6 months, that's expensive. Then not even adding in there gas for your car, that's expensive. Paying for your car, depends on what kind of car you got, that could be expensive. Car insurance, personal sales insurance. There's all these things that you're already spending money on. You already have your output. Your output's pretty high. So why add any more expenses that aren't absolutely necessary to maintain your daily business? That's my opinion on it. That's how I look at things. And it doesn't matter whether you're making $100,000 a year or $100,000 a month or $100,000 a week. It doesn't matter. Output is output. You know, and we want to maximize our input. We want to make as much as we can and hold on to it for as long as we can, so we have a nice big bed of money to rest on, right? So even though these services, some of them are like $20 a month, that's pretty cheap, $30, $40, $50 a month, it's all pretty cheap. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because if you're maintaining your database, if you're doing good by yourself, you don't need these services. You don't need these websites. Now, let me also tell you why I don't like the sites. All right, it's not so much about cost; it's a small part of it. But my biggest problem with these sites is they are data farms. Okay, you are providing an immense amount of data for these companies, and I don't trust any company with my potential clients or my clients. So think about how much you're putting in there. Okay, the average realtor has to touch a person 8 to 14 times before you can get a deal started. All right, so the average is 8 to 14 touches. A touch is an email, a phone call, a visit in person, a drop by. Those are touches, right? And your broker should go over that stuff with you. So if you don't know that much about it, email me and I'll explain more about it. But if you do, then you know what I'm talking about. So 8 to 14 touches per potential client. All right, now let's think about it. A neighborhood of 100 locations, all right, 100 houses in a neighborhood. We're talking about 800 touches, 800 bits of information that you're putting into a website. Right? That's a lot of information. And I don't trust these websites. I don't trust anybody, but especially these websites. I don't trust them to not take that potential information, that potential client, and sell that service, sell that information to somebody else. Because you think about it, it is a massive amount of income generating data for certain companies. Think about if a company knows how long it takes a person to make a major purchase decision. Or if they know how much money a person is making on a certain deal. Like you put into these sites what you're going to market the property for and what it sells for. And if you have put in enough information, there's access to too much information. So I'm very personal. I'm very private as a person in general. As a human being, I'm a very, very private person. I'm outgoing here. This is the web. But I'm also very private internally. And I take that to my clients as well. The only place you're going to find my clients' information is in a notebook that I carry, that's in my bag, or that's in my briefcase, or that's in my desk when I'm at my desk. Even when I leave my office at night, my files go with me. You know, obviously not the entire file, that'd be a lot, but my important files, my personal clients, they go with anybody I'm working on right now is with me at all times. The rest of my files are locked in a cabinet. Now, mind you, that's in a realtor's office that's already locked and already has multiple protections in it. That's how I am with my client base. So, in case you're going to ask about how do I maintain the information when I farm a community. So number one, first thing is look at how much you're farming. Okay, think about how much of an area you're farming. And I know a lot of people say you farm and farm and farm. You go out. I disagree with that. Because it takes 8 to 14 touches, having a huge farming area can only cost you a fortune and spread you too thin. So what I would suggest first off is pick smaller areas to farm and really hit those areas and be the expert in those areas. Know every sale, know every listing, know every person in that area. So if you go to a house and they say, well, you know, I haven't really seen you before. What do you know about the neighborhood? Okay, well, I know that this house sold last month. This house sold 2 months ago. This house sold 6 months ago. These were comparable in size, but here's the average square foot that this particular neighborhood is taking right now. And right now there's 4 listings available. So if you can rattle that off to somebody, just off the top of your head, look at who looks like the expert, right? So, I mean, who would you want to do business with? The person who says, I can get that information for you in my office and email it to you, or the person who says, well, here's where your neighborhood is. Here's a snapshot. So, and not having to look at a notebook too when you say this, knowing it off the top of your head. Well, I know that this sold and this sold and this sold, and the average per square foot was this. Every house is a little bit different. Some are capes, some are colonials, some are splits, but you know, the neighborhood does very, very well. If you can rattle information, you're the expert. And I've talked about this in other videos. Be the expert. Going back to the concept of maintaining, because I digress a little bit. It's morning time, man. What do you expect? Keeping track of your stuff. So when you go to a house, see, I keep a notebook. All right, I have an open notebook and I have an available notebook. All right, my available are ones that I've already made a contact with and that I'm trying to work on with my continued touches. My open is this is who I talked to today. All right, so that piece of paper, after I take it the first time and send the first letter, goes into the available. And I got a fresh sheet. Next sheet's fresh. But I only farm a couple of small communities. My first farming area is where I grew up and where I lived for 20 years. Right? I'm farming that community because I lived there. I was there for 20 years. And if you guys watched my earlier video, saying that you are from the neighborhood immediately opens doors. Right? So that's my first one. My second one was the second neighborhood I lived in for almost 10 years because, again, I'm from there. But it's a small neighborhood. There's only 75 houses in it. It's very easy to maintain. If it wasn't for the fact that it's small, I probably wouldn't have added it to my portfolio of farming areas because too many is just too many. Right? And my third and final is where I live now. And that's the area where I farm probably... I probably farm it the least, as a matter of fact, just because of where I live, and I don't really want to be that annoying agent that's constantly coming by somebody's house. But nonetheless, I farm 3 communities. One of them is very, very small. So I keep a maintenance log, right? So I printed off a trend, and I showed you guys in an earlier video how you can get an entire listing of every home, every house, every value, when it was listed, when it was last sold, all the information. I keep those sheets. I print them out. I keep those sheets in a folder, and in that folder, it says on the front of the folder the name of the community I'm farming, right? So first one is my old neighborhood. I have it listed by the name. Second one is the community where I live the second time, and the third one is current neighborhood. And inside of there, I've got all the listings, all the houses named, right? And so I just track it. You know, and I know because I can put them into our database. Our company, if you're working for a realtor, you probably have a database management system. Our company has a great system, so I put them into my database management system at my company. If you're working for a realtor that doesn't supply you with a database management system, you can always get a separate one, a totally offline one that you download to your computer. For example, I used Act for about 10 years and I loved it. It's a very easy interface. It was on my computer. No one had access to it without a password. And I really liked that thing because Act was mine. It was whatever went in there stayed with me no matter what company I ever worked for. Those clients were mine. So I really liked Act. If you don't have a management system in place, I would suggest getting Act. It's expensive. I think last time I bought it was like $350. So it is an investment, but it's a smart investment. And Act will let you track all that stuff. You can do the same things in Act that you would do on Spotio, only you don't have the graphics and you don't have that really cool map with the houses, little pinpoints on the houses. You don't have that. But if you put the name of the house or the address in there, you can find it just the same. So my net 10 minutes, 11, oh my God, 11 minutes in. Man, this morning drives me nuts. I way off topic. My net. Do you need Spotio and Sales Rabbit or any of these other systems? No. Are they helpful? They can be. What's the downside? You run the risk of people taking the information you're generating and using it for their own purposes. Would I use it? No. It doesn't matter what's going on. I just don't find it useful. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't. What you should do is look into it and see if it's of value to you. And if it is, please put a comment down below and let me know what you think about it. I haven't seen that many reviews. So if you have it, if you like it, post up a review or put it down in the comment section. I would love to see it. I would love to find out more about it. Or email me. I'm always available. But first and foremost, most importantly, subscribe to my videos. Keep watching them. In fact, you should probably watch them all like 50, 60 times and then have all your friends watch them 50 or 60 times to get our post count up. That would be really cool. All right, guys, subscribe to my videos. Like the videos. Whatever you think about them, good, bad, and different, please post your comments down below. Email me if you want to. My phone number is even out there somewhere. If you want to, you can call me anytime. I'm here to help you guys become great. You can do it. You can be the best realtors in your town if you just try. Enjoy my videos. I'm going to head up, get a shower, and go out there, and I'm going to start making some money. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.